Assalamu alaikum brothers and sisters, welcome to my video on present tense. After understanding the past tense or the Fel Madi, now we are going to do the present tense or the Fel Mudaare. In this video I will be completing about the Fel Mudaare, what is Fel Mudaare, and the three cases that the Fel Mudaare falls into. And we all know that Fel Mudaare is Mu'rab, that means changing. It changes, it changes its haraka, changes the cases. So in this video, I have covered only the Marfu case. And without any further delay, let's go on and check my next slide. So here you can see the three types of tenses. So in Arabic grammar, the verb is of three kinds: Madi, Mudare, and Amr. And in this video, I will be just completing Fel Mudaare in Marfu case. I have already done Madi in detail, and all of you now understand Madi, that it is Mabni. The structure of the past tense does not change, it remains the same, and we don't have any error regarding Marfu, Mansub or Majrur Madi, the Fel Madi falling in the Marfu case or the Mansub case or the Majzum case. So we don't have to worry about the Madi. Madi is simple, it's fixed, it's Mabni. Mabni means never changing. But when we come to Mudare, and we know that Mudare is Mu'rab, the only tense in Arabic that is Mu'rab, changing into three cases, that is Marfu, Mansub, and Majzoom. So a Mudare, Fel Mudare can change its case into Marfu. The Fel Mudare can be in Marfu case, it can be in Mansub case, or it can be in Majzoom case. It is similar like a noun falling into three cases, that is a noun can be a Marfu by seeing a Dhamma on the last letter of a noun, or it can be a Mansub by seeing a Fatha on the last letter of the noun, or in Majroor by seeing a Kasra on the last letter. But in the case of the verb, we don't have Majroor, but it is Majzoom. And all these three cases are recognized. First of all, Marfu is recognized. When you see a Fel Mudare, you see on the last letter of the Fel Mudare as having a clear Dhamma. Then when the Fel Mudare falls in Mansub, you will see a clear Fatha over the last letter. But when the Fel Mudare falls in Majzoom case, you will see a Sukoon on the last letter. So this is the major difference between the noun and the verb, the Fel Mudare. And usually, as you know, the verbs don't accept Kasra. So it is the only difference between the noun and the verb. And the only verb that changes its position or the cases is the Fel Mudare. So in this case, we leave out Madi and Amr. They both are Mabni. Even Amr is also Mabni. So we don't have much to learn in Amr, just the structure or the addition of the pronouns for the males, for the females. So there is nothing much to learn in Madi and Amr. So Mudare have a very vast information because it changes its cases from Marfu, Mansub, and Majzoom, and we have a lot of things to learn in this present tense. In this slide, as you can see, there is a table of the separate pronoun, then the present verb, and the attached pronoun. So first of all, one may ask, how will you recognize a present tense from a past tense? How will you know that this verb is a past tense or a present tense? So first of all, the one who have done the past tense structure is whatever attached pronoun comes, it comes after the verb. Since in this you have not seen anything attached after the verb, whatever in the past tense. But in present tense, what happens? You will find some letters added before the verb. So this is the major sign to know that it is a present tense. And these letters are limited to only 4 letters, and that is Hamza, Noon, Ya and Ta. And all these 4 letters are combined to make a word to remember easily is Anaitu. So if you see, if you find a Hamza before a fail, that means it is representing the ana of the mutakallim group or the first group. So this table is about the first group, right? That is the mutakallim group. And when you see a noon, it is representing the nahnu, the we. And in both the cases, what happens? You will see the Hamza and the Noon, that is representing the Nahnu, you will see before a fail. That means it has a prefix. The present tense will always have a prefix of these 4 letters. So in the Mutakallim, you have 2 letters, that is the Hamza and the Noon. So these 2 letters represents the Mutakallim group. And what else can you see in this table? Now, the attached pronoun. What about the attached pronoun? If I can remove the lines from here, can you see any attached pronouns here? In af'alu, is there a suffix here? Just like the past tense? No, there is no suffix. And there is nothing you can see visible after the lam, so you can say that there is an attached pronoun here. So where is the pronoun? It's a damir mustatir. That means the af'alu from the mutakallim group of the ana will always have a damir mustatir hidden inside the fail af'alu. And the same goes to naf'alu. The damir mustatir is hidden inside the fail naf'alu. The hidden pronoun nahnu is hidden inside the fail naf'alu. So, in present tense, we have altogether 5 hidden pronouns. 5 hidden pronouns, and this is very important. So, you should make a note of it that in present tense we have 5 hidden pronouns. What about the past tense? In past tense we have only 2 hidden pronouns. And what are they? What are they? They are huwa and hiya. But now we are doing the present tense. So the first hidden pronoun is in the mutakallim group ana, and the second hidden pronoun that is in the mutakallim group itself, that is the nahnu. So we have 2 hidden pronouns in the mutakallim group. So now let's check the second group, that is the mukhatib group. In the second group, we have all the Fel Mudaare represented by the ta letter. And in the beginning, the prefix, you can see the ta in all the verbs for the anta, anti, antuma, antum, and antunna. So what is the difference, and from where can you find that this particular verb is being used for female singular or the dual or the plural or the feminine plural? So we will come to it one by one. So the first one, anta, we have a third hidden pronoun here. In this hidden pronoun here, in this verb taf'alu, you cannot see any pronoun attached after the verb. We just have a ta harf anaitu from the harf mudare, just to tell you that this represents from the mukhatib and for the male singular. We have our hidden pronoun anta hidden in this verb. So this is our third hidden pronoun in the present tense, and the rest of it in anti, you can see the harf mudare first of all, the prefix, and then at the end after the fail you can see in red color marking is the ya mukhatiba. So the name of the pronoun used in the mukhatib for the feminine singular is ya mukhatiba. It represents the fa'il. So when you do the i'rab for the present tense, so we don't do the i'rab for the harf mudare alif, I'm sorry, the hamza, noon, ta, and ya, but we do the i'rab of the fail. So this is the fail and this is the file. So what will you say in your i'rab? The file is ya mukhatiba. And what about this noon? This is an extra letter and it is called extra noon or noon az-zaida. It does not have any work to play in the i'rab. So we just need not worry about the noon. Then antuma, and this is for the male and female dual in mukhatib. So the ta letter represents the second group and we have our file as aliful isnain, and this represents the 2%. It is in the file position, so the pronoun is in the file position. And similarly this noon is extra. And the male plural, we have the ta representing the second group and the pronoun is waw al-jama, representing in the mukhatib the plurals in masculine. So the name is waw al-jama and this pronoun falls in the file position and the noon is extra. Antunna, the ta, as you know, representing the second group, and then we have the fail, and now we have our damir noon niswa. So one may ask, this noon is similar to like noon with fatha in the masculine jama and it's in the feminine singular here also, but what makes it difference? How do we know that it's noon niswa, the damir? Simple, that you will see a sukoon before a noon fatha, and this shows the first recognition point that this is the damir noon niswa. The name of the damir is noon niswa, representing the feminine jama. You will always find a sukoon before it, so this is one recognition point for it. Others, the noon with kasra or the noon with fatha after the aliful isnain, waw al jama and the ya mukhatiba, they are all extra noon zaida. Now let's check the third group. Coming to the third group, that is the ghayab group. Now we have huwa here, and you can see we have two humas. Why do we have two duals in the ghayab? As I have already mentioned before also, that in the ghayabs, that means you are talking to the talking about the third person, the person that is not present in front of you. And it may be a male or a female. That male or female is not present in front of you and you are talking about them. So then you need to use letters that tells you that you are speaking about a male dual and a feminine dual. So that's where you need to use a different letter to represent them. So I will come to that. And then as usual, we have the male plural in the ghayab and the feminine plural in the ghayab. And first of all, let's do this huwa and hiya. So now after doing the mutakallim and the mukhatib, how many hidden pronouns did we come across? We came across 3 hidden pronouns. That is from ana, nahnu and anta from the mukhatib. We had 3 hidden. Now where are the 4th and 5th? So we have the 4th and we have the 5th. So it's huwa and hiya, just like the past tense. So now in the ghayab group, which letter represents? The ya represents the ghayab, right? So here you can see the letter ya representing huwa. So you can see the ya letter is there representing the single male in the ghayab, and there is nothing after the fail attached. When you find nothing after the fail attached, remember the damir is mustatir, hidden in it. Similarly, in the hiya, What letter is representing in the ghaib for here? The ta letter is representing in the ghaib group for here. And why the ta has come? Because if ya would have been used here, then these both would have looked similar. So that's why ta has come. As you know, ta represents the femininity. So that's why in the ghaib group, instead of the ya, the ta letter is being used to show that this verb is used for the ghaib here, feminine singular. So that's where comes the confusion when the taf'alu from the mukhatib male singular comes and the taf'alu from the ghaib feminine singular comes. So many of you get confused that what is being represented to. Is it for the male singular or is it for the feminine singular? Always remember, when taf'alu, a male singular from the muhatib comes, you will easily recognize it in a sentence because it represents the male singular. But when the same fail comes taf'alu for feminine singular in a sentence, there will be the name of the feminine or anything that will tell you in a sentence that this taf'alu is being used for the feminine singular. There will be clues in the sentence that will tell you that taf'alu is being used for the feminine singular from the verbs for the third person. So now we have, when you see there is nothing after the fail attached, remember that the damir is mustatir, hidden in the taf'alu for feminine singular. And what about the huma mudhakkar? Now coming for the mudhakkar. As you know, the ya is representing for the ghaibs and ya for the mudhakkar, the ya represents the male and the ghaib. Okay, it is the ya letter is representing two things, male and the ghaib, right? So that's why ya letter has been used here. What about the dual? Same as the mukhatib. Aliful isnain tells you, this ya tells you the gender male, and the aliful isnain tells you the number of people that is doing the work or action. So this is our main damir, and as I told you, the noon is extra, doesn't have or doesn't play any part in the i'rab. So just leave it there. Now for the huma muannath, dual feminine, and this is dual male. So for muannath, what are the change? Similarly, you can see the change. The ta has come back. The ta has come back to tell you that this verb is being used for the feminine ghaib, right? And where is the damir is the aliful isnain. So this ta is telling you the gender, and this damir is telling you the number of people doing an action, and the name of the damir is aliful isnain. In both the cases, it's aliful isnain. Just to tell you that we have different duals in ghaib. Remember that it changes the letter from ya to ta for feminine. And now coming to the male plural ghaib. So you can see the ya has come back for the male, and now the waw al jama, same as the mukhatib, the same damir has come. And in now it's very important to see here that again ya is representing the feminine plural in ghaib. Why ya has come back? Why doesn't ta came here again to represent the feminine ghaib plural? Because the only reason that the ta letter is not used here is that we already have a feminine plural damir representing the feminine plural, that is the noon niswa. You should know that noon niswa only represents feminine plural. This damir only comes for feminine plural, and it comes in the mukhatib group also, and it comes in the ghaib group also. The only difference between the two, when it comes for the mukhatib, it will have a ta letter before the fail, and when it comes in the ghaib group, it will have a ya letter before the fail because ya represents the ghaibs. And why doesn't it is carrying a ta here? Because it already has a noon niswa, the feminine damir, to differentiate between the male and the female. So we need not have the letter ta here to represent the feminine. So that is the only reason why ya has come before the fail in the feminine ghaib group. So this is all the explanation of the damirs coming in the present tense. Before I proceed further, so let's have a quick look on the important points of Fel Mudaare. So the first point that I have already completed is that there will be a prefix before a Fel Mudaare, that is the anaitu, hamza, noon, ya, and ta. And hamza represents I, noon represents we, ya represents the third person, and the ta represents the second person. And know that these are only prefixes. Don't confuse that they are pronouns. They aren't pronouns. They are the only letters that come as prefixes with the Fel Mudaare, and it only tells you the group. For example, alif and noon represents the mutakallim, the ya represents the ghaib, and the ta represents the mukhatib. And they are called as harf mudare. They are not pronouns, they are called as harf mudare. And present tense are mu'rab. Mu'rab means, as I already mentioned it, that present tense are mu'rab. Why they are mu'rab present tense? Because it can undergo into three cases, that is the marfu with dhamma, mansub with fatha, and majzoom with sukoon. So it has three cases. That's why it can change its position. So that's why it is called mu'rab. It can change. Mu'rab means changing. And what about the pronouns in the Fel Mudaare? Now you understand that pronouns are attached as suffixes. Suffixes after the verb. What are the suffixes? Let's revise. In mutakallim, we have the hidden pronoun, and in the mukhatib, we have one hidden pronoun, that is from the anta male singular. Then in the anti, we have the ya mukhatiba. Antuma, we have the alif muthanna. Antum, we have vowel jama. Antunna, we have the nunun niswa. From the ghaibs, from huwa and hiya, we have another two hidden pronouns. So that counts as 5 hidden pronouns in present tense. And we have huma male, aliful muthanna. Huma female with aliful muthanna. I'm now talking about only the damirs. So the changes of letter occurs according to the group. Now, from the hum, we have vowel jama, and from hunna, we have nunun niswa. And the endings of the present tense can change due to some particles preceding it. This is the point will be applied when we learn the muthanna, Fel Mudaare in muthanna case and Fel Mudaare in majzoom case. So in this video, I'm just covering the marfu case. So let's go on and see the next slide. Now let's have a closer look on the structure of a Fel Mudaare with a pronoun. There are so many letters, one may get confused what represents what. So let's have a closer look here. The attached pronoun, first of all, the ya mukhatiba in question. So let's see. There is an example. Anti taf'alina. So I have given different colors. So the ta here is representing the prefix letter that is showing the second person feminine singular. Then the fa'al is the verb. And the ya here is the ya mukhatiba, and this is the pronoun. And the noon here that I have marked in red, that means doesn't have any work to play in the Arab, doesn't have anything to do with the Arab. It's an extra noon, or it is called noon az-zaida. So one may ask about a kasra, that right now I said a verb cannot have a kasra. So the lam is having a kasra because the ya is coming here. And whenever the long vowel ya comes, you will find the corresponding haraka before it. And that's why the lam has taken a kasra here due to this ya coming. So anti taf'alina. So this is the structure of the present tense that you can see with the prefix letter representing the second group, the verb, the damir attached that tells you for whom this verb is being used. The ta is telling you the second person, you are speaking to the person right in front of you, and that person is a feminine and it is singular. So in one word, in one structure of the present tense, you have the whole lot of information about the number of person, the gender of the person. Are you mukhatib to it, him or her, or and likewise. And this noun is extra. You need not worry about this noun. So now let's check the other structures. The second pronoun, aliful ithnain. So aliful ithnain is found in the mukhatib group for the duals antuma, and in the ghaib for the male dual and for the female dual. So we will talk about the difference between the two. It may look similar, but there is a slight difference. So first of all, let's talk about the antuma taf'alani. This taf'alani is used for both male and female, as I have mentioned that you are mukhatib to the person in front of you. You are actually looking at the person and you are speaking. So we need not make a differentiation between the verb. So here, as the ta represents the second group, the mukhatib group, and it tells you about the person that you're speaking to in front of you. And then the pronoun is aliful ithnain. The our pronoun here will be only alif and not the lam. I couldn't highlight only the alif, so I had to do with the lam also. But here the alif is the only pronoun representing the number of people. So by looking at the verb, there are so many informations included in one verb, that is the ta representing the group and the pronoun representing the number of people. So that's so many information in one verb. So coming to the ghaibs, when we have a dual verb only for male and a dual verb only for female. So this happens only in the ghaib. Why? Because in the ghaib, the person you are speaking to is not present. So you need to differentiate both the verbs by just changing the letter. So here you can see the ta in the ghaib group and a ya in the ghaib group. As you know, the letter ya represents the ghaib group. So for the male dual, you will see the letter ya has been used. Now this ya is representing for the male also. For the third group, that is the ghaib group, and the aliful ithnain representing the number of people. So this is the work of the letters to tell you, give you the information. So looking at the verb and seeing the letters that is being attached as prefix and the pronoun attached as suffix, all these give you the information. Now coming to the ghaib duals, Here you can see the ta has come. So the one reason why ta has come instead of ya is to tell you that this verb is being used for the feminine dual, as ta is associated with the sign of femininity. So the ta has come back and instead of ya. And then there is again the same pronoun aliful ithnain. So in all these three cases, in the second group and the third group, you can see the same pronoun aliful ithnain is being used throughout in the second group and the third group. So one may ask that taf'alani from the mukhatib group and taf'alani from the ghayab group for feminine are similar. How are you going to distinguish between the verb being used only for feminine dual and the same verb being used in mukhatib for both of them? So as I said, there will be there in a sentence there will be a clue that will let you know that this verb taf'alani is being used only for feminine dual and ghaib, or it is being used for the male and female dual in the mukhatib. So if you have a sentence, for example, if I say antuma taf'alani jayidan. So I'm taking the same example, jayidan. So here there is a clue. When taf'alani is used, seeing the verb, you cannot judge whether it's from the ghaib or from the mukhatib. But you have a clue here, antum. So that means you are talking about the male and female in the second group. So there will be a clue if the tafalani comes for the feminine dual only in a sentence. If it comes in the ghaib group, then you have a clue here and it will be huma. So now when you see the huma, it may be male, but when you see the ta, now it gives you the clue that this is from the ghaib for the feminine dual only. So that's how you will recognize whether it's being used for the feminine dual in the ghaib or for the second group mukhatib. Now we have a third pronoun, that is the waw al-jama. So here, as you can see, this is for the mukhatib and this is for the ghayab. And now we are doing the male jama. So this waw al jama represents the male jama in the mukhatib and in the ghayab group. So let's see, if you have the same pronoun for the male jama in the mukhatib and the ghaib, then how are you going to see or recognize that these two verbs, one is for the mukhatib, the other is for the ghaib? Only the letters, the difference of letters before the verb tells you the same verb is being used for the mukhatib with the ta, and the same verb is being used for the ghaib with the ya. So the letters, the prefix letters tells you the difference of the groups. So first of all, as you can see, the ta is representing the second group. Then you have your verb and then the waw al jama, the pronoun, and we don't need to take into consideration the noon after. So the waw al jama tells you the number of people and the ta tells you two things, the gender and the group. So you have three informations whenever you look at the present tense. So that's how the information you have that this particular verb is being used for the male, for the ghaib group or the mukhatib group and the number of people. And what about the ghaib? As you can see, the only difference is the ya. Instead of the ta, there is a ya for the male ghaibs. Then you have your verb and then you have the waw al jama, and then excluding the noon, we have every information that we need to know about the present tense. So now let's check the last structure, the last pronoun, that is the noonun niswa. Coming to the fourth pronoun, the Nunun Niswa. Now here is the example of Mukhatib Antunna and Hunna from the Ghayabs. So as you can see from the Mukhatib, the Ta represents the Mukhatib, and then you have the fail file, and in yellow you can see the damir noonun niswa. So where is the proof that this is not an extra noon and it is a damir? Because it looks similar like the noon extra, noon kasra, noon fatha from the mukhatib ones, as you have seen. Only the sukoon before it, this is the proof that tells you that this is the noonun niswa and not the extra noon. And the ta letter tells you the mukhatib group, taf'alna. So now in the ghayab feminine plural, the letter prefix is the only difference between the ta and the ya. And why do we have ya representing feminine plural in the ghayab? Because we already have the noonun niswa, the feminine plural pronoun used, and the letter tells you that it is the feminine ghayab, and this noonun niswa tells you the number of feminine people doing the action. Important thing to know here is that how many do we have here? Taf'alina, the ya here, taf'alna and yaf'alna. So here you can see the feminine group of the pronouns here. How many feminine pronouns do we have? The ya mukhatiba and the nunun niswa. And we have the two verbs similar looking, but only the letters separate them, differentiate them for the mukhatib and the ghaib, taf'alna and yaf'alna. This is the major difference that you need to keep in mind. And taf'alina, ya mukhatiba in the mukhatib for the feminine singular. This is the definition of the Fel Mudaare in Arabic. الفعل المضارع كلمة تدل على عمل. So تدل على عمل means it is a word referring to the action. عمل means action. يقوم به الإنسان means the action that a human or الحيوان means or an animal or شيء means anything. في الزمن الحاضر. زمن الحاضر means in present أو في مستقبل. So this is a very important point for a fail mudare. The present tense shows you the action done in the present time, and that by a human or an animal or a thing. So the action done in the present time and in the future. It depicts both the times, in present and in future. For example here, yadrusu, yaktubu and tastati'u. So it means yadrusu, he studies, or yaktubu means he writes or he is writing, both. Tastati', he can or you can. So ahraf al-mudare, that means harf al-mudare will be anaitu, al-hamza, noon, ya and ta. For misal means the examples with the harf mudare. Asbahu means to swim, nasbahu, yasbahu and tasbahu. Here are some examples you can see of past tense that has been made into present tense using the harf anaitu. So sabaha, asbahu, nasbahu and tasbahu, as you saw in the previous examples. Kataba, to write. Aktubu, I write. Naktubu, we write. Taktubu, you write. And yaktubu, he writes. So dhahaba, azbahu, nadhhabu, tadhhabu and yadhhabu. Safara, to travel, and labisa, to wear. Shariba, to drink, and ishtara, to buy. Rasama, to draw, and tanawala is actually this example of verb should not be given, because up till now you have not learned the 5-letter verbs. So it's okay if you can just go on with the example. Tanawala means to take. Atanawalu, natanawalu, tatanawalu, and yatanawalu. So it is a 5-letter verb. Nazala, he sent, or to send down, or to descend. Masaha, to touch, and sa'ada, to help. In this exercise, we need to add the letter seen, which is known as harf mustaqbal, and the sawfa word is used when you need to speak something in future. Both of them actually is used when you want to speak in future. So both does the same work. And here you can see the letter seen or harf mustaqbal is just added before as a prefix before the verb. So as you can see, there is the harf anaitu and the harf mustaqbal is added before the harf anaitu. So kataba sa'aktubu. So the meaning now is I will write. I will study. Darasa, I will study. Sa'adrusu. Dhahaba, sa'adhabu. I will go. Hamala, sa'ahmalu. I will hold. And the next one is adding sawfa before the present tense. Amal, to do action. Sawfa a'malu means I will do it. Inshallah, when you want to say in future, I will do it. Sami'a, to hear. Sawfa asma'u, I will hear it very soon. Kharaja, sawfa akhruju, I will leave very soon. Zara'a, to plant. Sawfa azra'u means I will plant it very soon. In this exercise, you need to make small sentences. So I've made very simple sentences here. Yusafiru means he travels. So ya depicting the ghaib for male singular. Yusafiru, he travels. So yusafiru Khalidun ila Makkata. Na'malu, we do. So this noon represents the nahnu ya na'malu. And where is the damir in this verb? Since you can't see any pronoun as a suffix after the fi'l, that means it is hidden. And the noon tells us it's from the mutakallim. Remember, from the mutakallim group, we have the ana and the nahnu as damir mustatir. Even the huwa from the huwa, and here from the ghaib group we have the damir mustatir. So this is from the ghaib male singular. Here also we have the file, or sorry, the pronoun hidden in it. Akala. So akalu means I eat. So akalu at-ta'ama alladhida, I am eating the delicious food. Tadrusu, you study. Anta tadrusu jayidan, you study very good. Sa'aktubu, I will write. Sa'aktabu ar-risalata li ukhti, I will write the letter for my sister. Adhabu ila al-jami'ati, I am going, or I go to the university. So these are the small simple sentences with the Fel Mudaare. Now, as mentioned before, a Fel Mudaare undergoes 3 cases, that is the Marfu, Mansoob, and Majzoom. And now we will learn only Marfu case, and let's see how many types of Fel Mudaare, the structure of Fel Mudaare is there in Marfu case. A Fel Mudaare has 3 cases, as you know. It's Marfu, Mansoob, and Majzoom. And now we will only concentrate on the Marfu case. And in Marfu case, we have 3 types of Marfu cases. So it's further divided into 3 types. So all these 3 cases are in Marfu, and they are recognized by clear dhamma. First of all, very easy. How do you recognize a Fel Mudaare in Marfu case? When you see a dhamma on the last letter, dhamma on the last letter. second type of structure in Marfu case, when you see a weak letter at the end. And the third type of Marfu case in Fel Mudaare is when you see the extra noon that I was talking about, that doesn't play any part in Arab, that extra noon or noon zaida. When you see that noon at the end of the Fel Mudaare, know that it is in the Marfu case. So now let's see in details each of the structure of Fel Mudaare. The first structure of the Fel Mudaare in the Marfu case, that is with the Dhamma. So when you see a Fel Mudaare and you check before the Fel Mudaare, is there any particle or tool that it's speaking about, the tool of Nasb? So the tool of Nasb comes only in the Mansub case, and the tool of Jazm comes only in the Majzoom case. So when you have a Fel Mudaare in an ayah or a sentence and there is no tool of Nasb or Jazm, then consider that Fel Mudaare as in Marfu case. So first point. Now we have three different signs of the verb being in Marfu, as spoken before in my previous slide. So what are these? The first one is the clear dhamma that you see on the last letter of the Fel Mudaare. You see a clear visible dhamma. And the second one is the estimated dhamma. What is estimated? Means if you find a Fel Mudaare and it has a weak letter at the end of it. So weak letter, as you know, the rule about the weak letter, that it does not carry any haraka above it. So that's why if it is in Marfu, it should have a dhamma. So where should you put the dhamma if the Fel Mudaare has a weak letter at the end? So you can't put a haraka over it. So that moment you need to assume that there is a dhamma, but you cannot write it. It's not allowed in Arabic grammar. So that's when it's called estimated dhamma or assumed dhamma. In Arabic we say dhamma muqaddara. Third one is the presence of noon. As I told you that when you see a noon at the end of the Fel Mudaare, the presence of noon only tells you that this Fel Mudaare is in Marfu case. Here you can see all three types of Fel Mudaare. So when the Fel Mudaare is in Marfu case, how will you know? First of all is Fel Mudaare with Dam. So here I have given examples, all the Fel Mudaares that you see with a clear dhamma on the last letter. So on the last letter, when the letter is Sahih. What is Sahih? Sahih means all the letters except the three weak letters, that is Waw, Alif and Ya. So all these examples here you can see Ba, Lam and Lam. So all these are Sahih letters, they are not weak letters, so they will carry a clear dhamma at the end. So when you see the Fel Mudaare, for example, Tadhabu, Yakulu, Yaksilu, they all carry a dhamma, physical dhamma that you can see with your own eyes. Then it is called Fel Mudaare Bidam. So that means you can see a clear dhamma on the Sahih letters. There are no weak letters in these Fel Mudaare. Second type of Fel Mudaare with Harf Illa. Harf Illa means the weak letters Waw, Alif and Ya. So here you can see Yas'a. So the last letter is Alif Makhsura. It is a weak letter. Here Yasmu, the second example, the last letter is a weak letter Waw, and Tarmi, the last letter is Ya, the weak letter which cannot carry the haraka. So in this case, all these are present tense, but due to this weak letter, we cannot put a haraka on the weak letter Alif Makhsura or the Waw or the Ya. So it remains empty. But you know that it is in Marfu case. We cannot put a clear dhamma or physical dhamma over these weak letters. So we say that it is Marfu bid-dam muqaddara. So the dhamma is muqaddara, assumed, estimated. You cannot write it, but it is there. So the second case is with the weak letters. Remember, when the weak letters comes, we cannot write the dhamma over it. but we assume it that there is a dhamma. Then comes the third type of fail mudare, bi thubut an-nun. What is thubut? Means the proof. When you see the fail mudare, and that is especially the case of afal al-khams. Afal is the plural of fail. Al-khams means the 5 special fail mudare with the noons. So here you see all these fail mudare have a noon at the end. Either it is in the dual case, it is with kasra, and in the male plural, it is with the noon fatha. So all these cases are of afal al khamsa. But how is it 5? So that is one thing. How do you take it as 5 when there are 6 of them? The taf'alani is taken as 1. So 1 being cancelled, we take as 1. Taf'alani, it's repeated, so we take them as 1. Consider them as 1. So now we have 5. Instead of 6, we have 5 afal al-khamsa. 5 verbs, present verbs. And if you see the noon, the presence of noon in Arabic, you say bithubut and noon. So when you see the noon at the end with the fail mudare, know that it is in marfu case. So these 3 are very important in fail mudare, the cases of to predict that it is in the marfu case. So now let's do in details about on the fail mudare with dhamma. Clear dhamma at the end in the case of sahih letters at the end of the verb. So first of all, awalan, ad-dhamma zahira. Zahira means the dhamma that you see with your own eyes, physically written over the last letter, and the last letter is sahih letters, no weak letters. So anta taktubu, nahnu naktubu, ana aktubu, huwa yaktubu. So you can see the clear dhamma on the last letter, and the last letter of the verb doesn't have any weak letters in it. So taktubu, how are you going to say in Arab? Taktubu, fail mudare. It is fail mudare and it is in marfu. How do you know it is in marfu case? So now you need to explain wa alamatu raf'ihi ad-damma, because there is a sign of raf, that is the damma, and it is al-zahira, ad-dam al-zahira ala akhirihi. Ala akhirihi means on the last letter. You will see a dhamma zahira means a physical dhamma over it. وَلِأَنَّ الْفَيْل تَكْتُبُ, and because the fail taktub yantahi means it ends بحرف الباء, it ends with the ba. وَهُوَ حرف صحيح, and this is the sahih letter. It is not from the weak letters. وَلَيْسَ حرف إِلَّا, and it is not from the weak letters. So this is an Arabic explanation of why does it is in marfu, why is it is having a dhamma over the ba. So you need to explain that ba is from the sahih letters and not from the weak letters. So you can omit this explanation in giving the i'rab of the fail mudare. You can omit this because it's not necessary. If you can only give the i'rab as fail mudare marfu wal amatu rafi' ad-dammatu al-zahiratu ala akhirih li'annahu as-sahih al-akhir. So that's the end of your i'rab for the fail mudare. So now you can see the first case is the clear dhamma. Here the verb is ending, it's just repeated in English, ending with a sahih letter, not a weak letter. So we will write a clear dhamma on it as a sign of being marfu. So now let's check the other structure of fail mudare. Now, estimated dhamma at the end, that is assuming that there is a dhamma over the last letter. And when does it happen? In the case of weak letter at the end of the verb. So here you say fail mudare ma bi harf illa. So waw, alif and ya is the weak letter. Harf illa means the weak letters. So ad-dhamma al-muqaddara. What do you say when you have a weak letter at the end of the present tense? You say ad-dhamma al-muqaddara. إذا كان الفعل مضارع معتل الآخر. So this is a new word actually. So it will be better if you learn all these words. معتل الآخر means you have a weak letter at the end in the فعل مضارع and بحرف من حروف إلا, and it has a letter from the weak letters. وهي ألف واو and يا. يرفع بالضمة المقدرة. Whenever you have a فعل مضارع with a weak letter at the end, what are you going to do? يرفع, making it مرفوع بالضم المقدرة. You can't put a clear dhamma over the weak letter, but you need to assume that there is a dhamma. So مثال الفعل, that means يسعى. In this case, here you cannot put a dhamma over the alif makhsura, as this is a weak letter and this is totally wrong in Arabic. So you need to assume that there is a dhamma over the alif makhsura, but you cannot write it. You cannot write it. It's not possible. إنه معتل الآخر. بألف بالألف. Why is it saying بالألف? ألف مخصورة is commonly called as ألف. لأنه, because ينتهي بحرف إلا means it is ending. ينتهي means it is ending with حرف إلا. What is the حرف إلا here? ألف مخصورة. So you cannot write a dhamma over it. وَنَقُولُ, and we say, how you say the Arab is important. So in this case, you can only say فعل مضارع مرفوع. It is مرفوع. وعلامة رفعه الضمة المقدرة. المقدرة على الألف. It is مقدرة, assumed, estimated over the alif, and this alif is actually alif مخصورة. لأنه, because, it means because معتل الآخر, because it has a weak letter at the end. So this is the Arab that you have to give whenever you come across a فعل مضارع with a weak letter. So now let's check the third type. Okay, there are some examples that we need to know the Arab if the weak letter wow comes. So whenever you see a wow at the end, what Arab will you give? فعل مضارع مرفوع علامة رفعه الضمة المقدرة على الواو. So the first one was alif makhsura. So the whole sentence was similar, but what is the change? Before you said رفعه الضمة المقدرة على الألف. Now you need to say على الواو because there is a weak letter wow here. على آخره لأنه معتل الآخر. So the Arab is the same. You just need to change the name of the letter. Before it was alif, now it is wow. And in case of يرمي, هذا الفعل معتل الآخر لأنه حرف الأخير يا. So in this case, you have a weak letter ya. And وهو حرف إلا, and it is from the weak letters. عندما means when. You want to give an Arab of this fail. What do you say? So the Arab you're going to give when you see a fail like this with a weak letter ya, your Arab should be the same, but you need to change the name of the letter. فعل مضارع مرفوع والعلامة رفعه الضمة المقدرة is the same. على اليا. Here you said it was على واو, and here you have to say على يا. So this is the only change, and whole sentence is repeated again and again. So now لأنه معتل الآخر. So the whole sentence is very similar. You just need to change the letter. And here is a small note. ونقول أنها ضمة مقدرة لأن الضمة تظهر كتابة ولكننا لا نستطيع نطقها. Means we cannot see the dhamma over the weak letter. We just know that there is a dhamma, but we cannot write it. So that is the explanation. This is the last structure of the Fel Mudaare, and that is of the presence of noon at the end of the verb. And this is only you will find in the case of Afal al-Khamsa. Now, what is Afal al-Khamsa? All the Fel Mudaare that have noon at the end, so that belongs to Afal al-Khamsa. Why is it 5? We take all those Fel Mudaare which have noon. In total, it's 6, but we take taf'alani as 1 and we cancel the other, and that comes to 5. So now you say marfu bi thabut and noon. In this case you call it as marfu. The fail mudare is in marfu case bi thubut and noon, with the presence of noon. If you see the noon, that means the fail mudare is in marfu case. إذا كان فعل مضارع من الأفعال الخمسة. Now all these فعل مضارع which have noon are from the أفعال الخمسة. والأفعال الخمسة, what is it? This is just a definition in Arabic. هي كل فعل مضارع اتصلت. اتصلت means joined with or attached with ألف الاثنين. So now in this case, what type of damirs you will find? Basically ألف الاثنين, واو الجمع, يا مخاطبة. So you have يفعلان تفعلان, يفعلون تفعلون, and تفعلين. So تفعلان from the ghaibs is deleted, it is taken as 1. So that's how you get 5 afalul khamsa. So in all these fail mudari, you see the noon at the end. We have a noon at the end. So this presence of noons tell you that this fail mudari is in marfu case. So now the example is mithal. Antuma taktuban means you two write. You two are writing or you two write. نقول هذا الفعل من الأفعال الخمسة لأنه اتصلت به ألف الاثنين. So in this أفعال الخمسة, it is اتصلت, this verb, I mean this فعل مضارع is attached with the ألف اثنين, the pronoun ألف الاثنين you can see here. وَنُونُ, وَنُون means it is attached with alif and noon. Here alama al-i'rab, these are the signs of the i'rab. This tells you the case in which the fail mudari is. So وَإِنْدَمَا نُعْرَبْ, indama, when you give the i'rab هذا الفعل, you say نقول, we say فعل مضارع مرفوع وعلامة رفعه بالثبوت النون. You don't say بالضمة الظاهرة or بالضمة المقدرة like we did before. In this case, with the أفعال الخمسة case, we say وعلامة رفعه بالثبوت النون لأنه. Why بالثبوت النون you are saying? Because لأنه, because من الأفعال الخمسة. So because it is from the أفعال الخمسة, that's why the presence of noon tells you that it is in marfu case. So that's all the explanation on the fail mudare structure in all 3 cases. Here are some examples and some quick revisions. So first example is Fatimatu taqulul haq, means Fatima says the truth. So now in this sentence where taqul is used, and taqul, the structure of taqul is used for male singular mukhatib also. So now the same verb is used for feminine singular, that is ghaib. So as I told you, you can have some clues in the sentence that will tell you that this form of structure, which is for male singular mukhatib, is being used for Fatima. That means this taqul is from the ghaib, feminine singular. So the clue is the name, female name Fatima. And then the verb is being used as taqul. So this tells you that it is being used for the ghaib feminine singular. Fatima tu taqul al-haq means Fatima says the truth. So the fail is taqul, and naw'uhu means its type, it's mudare. And the reason, al-sabab, the reason is لأنه دل على عمل. دل means it shows. على عمل means the action في زمن الحاضر والمستقبل means it shows the action in the present time and in the future. سأذهب إلى المكتبة. So the addition of seen makes the present tense for مستقبل. So the fail is سأذهب and the type is مضارع and it shows the عمل في زمن الحاضر والمستقبل. So it's basically tells سأذهب means you are talking about future. هم يقولون الحق. So يقولون, the ya tells that it is referring to the male plural in the ghaibs. يقولون مضارع and it shows عمل في زمن الحاضر والمستقبل. And a quick revision on the verb تقول, it shows action done at the moment or in future. And in future, how do you make? By adding seen before the harf Mudaare. So akul when added with seen becomes sa'akulu means I will say. And all the verbs are with this verb akul is with the harf anaitu. Aqul, naqul, yaqul, and taqul. So you can say the prefixes, see the prefixes here, and it's called the harf mudare and prefixed with the verb aqul, aqul. Last but not the least, we should do some Arab of Fel Mudaare, some examples of Fel Mudaare when it is in Marfu case. So let's do some examples now. يذكر المسلم الله. So يذكر المسلم Allah. So first of all, you need to decide what type of sentence is this. يذكر, it is a fail and it's fail mudare and it's jumla failure. So fail, file having a noun that is having a dhamma. So we know that the file is outside. So al-muslimu is file and lafzul jalala is in the position of maf'ulun bihi. So what is the position of fail mudare? We are not doing the i'rab of the sentence, but we are doing the i'rab of yazkuru, the fail mudare. So what is the position of fail mudare here? First of all, check the structure of the fail mudare. Now, before checking, check the last letter. What kind of letter is this here? So the last letter here is from the Sahih letters. It's not from the weak letters. You can see a visible Dhamma over it. So it's very easy. This is the structure of clear Dhamma over it. So what will be the Arab? Fail Mudare Marfu, Marfu'un wa alamatu رفعه الضمة الظاهرة. You can add الظاهرة. ظاهرة. ظاهرة. So this is your Arab. فعل مضارع مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة الظاهرة. If you add الظاهرة, that means you can see visible the dhamma. So that should be your explanation in the Arab. So the next one here, يسعى المعتمر. يسعى المعتمر بين الصفا والمروة. معتمر means to the one who does the umrah. So yas'a means to do the sa'i, means when you walk between the Safa and Marwa. So the fail here, we are not doing the Arab of the whole sentence, but the fail mudare. So it is a jumla failure and you need to check the last letter of the fail mudare. It's a weak letter and it is alif makhsura or alif. So how are you going to do the Arab? Fail mudare marfu' wa alamatu raf'ihi ad-dammatu al-muqaddara. So this is very important when a weak letter comes. And there is one more important point that I will add at the end after doing this example. Mana min al-zuhur. Mana means it is prohibited from min al-zuhur, from being visible. At-ta'adhur. Why? It is impossible. A ta'azzur means impossible. Why? Because the weak letter alif makhsura is a letter that cannot accept haraka over it. So as I always describe this letter as having a bad temper, it will not accept any haraka over it in any case, in any position, at any time. So it does have a really bad temper. So yarju al-muhsinu al-ajra. So it's simple jumla failure, but our fail mudare yarju. So yarju means he hopes. For ajr, al-muhsinu means the one who does good. He hopes for a reward. So yarju is a fail mudare, and what is it? At the end we have our weak letter waw. So how are you going to do your i'rab? Fail mudare marfu wa alamatu raf'ihi ad-dammatu al-muqaddaratu. So in the case of waw, you will say al-muqaddara, and it is prohibited from visibility or being visible because it is لأنها it is ثقل. ثقل means it's heavy. It's heavy. Now, the first point that I wanted to add at the end is, in all these cases, do you find any tool before anything before the fail mudare, especially the tool? Words and nouns, I'm not talking about any noun, or I'm not talking about any harf jar. I'm talking about tools. If you remember, I spoke about the tool of nasb and tool of jazm when I started the video. So we have a lot of tool of nasb and lot of tool of jazm, and we will study that later. So if you don't find any particle, any tool here before the fail mudare, so in all these cases we don't find any tool of nasb or tool of jazm. So that is also one point to recognize that this fail mudare is definitely in the marfu case, because the moment the tool comes before the fail mudare, it changes its case or position. So the absence of tool is the first recognition point that this fail mudare is in marfu case. Now, the second most important thing I want to introduce here is the ta'azzur and thaql. Ta'azzur means impossible. And why? Because as I told you, this letter alif makhsura will not tolerate any haraka over it at any time in any position in the sentence. You cannot put a haraka. But in the case of, and this is very important point, in the case of weak letter waw and ya, when you see waw and ya, these two letters may accept a fatha over it in in um, in the nasb case, but it is heavy. It is thaqil. So when you learn grammar more and more in a higher level, you will come across these two words, ta'azzur and lithaqil. So it may show a fatha over it, but it is still heavy. So you might see sometimes a fatha over the waw or the ya, but it is heavy. Know that it is heavy. It is still heavy because waw and ya is still a weak letter. But what about the alif makhsura? That's impossible. It doesn't carry any haraka. So you might see sometimes a fatha over the ya over the waw. It may have a physical fatha, but you cannot see a dhamma over the waw or dhamma over the ya. Only sometimes you will see the fatha over the waw or the ya. So all these cases inshallah will come slowly. So this is what I wanted to introduce right now. Inshallah, when we do the nasb case, you will come across the verbs having weak letter waw with a fatha. So then you might not get confused. That's why I introduce it right now. Yabki at-tiflu. So here you can see the fail mudare yabki with a ya at the end. So now how are you going to do the Arab? Fail, mudare, marfu. You don't find any tool before it. Definitely it's in marfu case. So this is a weak letter ya, but we cannot put a dhamma over it. So what is the Arab? Fail, mudare, marfu, wal amatu rafihi dhammatu al muqaddaratu. So it's the same. If you find alif makhsura, wow, the weak letter wow, the weak letter ya, the Arab will be the same, but in the end it's you don't need to add mana min zuhuriha athaqil, but the only thing you need to mention is dhamma muqaddara. Your Arab is complete. So this is for an extra information. So now antuma ta'malan. Now you're going to do the Arab for the afalul khamsa ones, the fail mudare with the presence of noon. So when you find a fail mudare with presence of noon, how you are going to do your Arab? Antuma ta'malan bi ikhlas means you two are doing with ikhlas means wholeheartedly. تعاملان is a فعل مضارع. So فعل مضارع مرفوع وعلامة رفعه بالثبوت النون. If you find a physical noon, a visible noon here, that means there is the presence of noon, tells you it is in marfu case. Moreover, you don't have any tool before ta'amalan, tool of nasb or tool of jazm. So definitely it is in marfu case. So it is raf bithubut and noon, presence of noon. And aliful ithnain is the damir mabni. So what is mabni here? The damir aliful ithnain is the mabni damir fi mahall raf fa'il. Why is it file is in the position of file? Because this alif tells you how many people are doing the action. So that's why this pronoun falls under the position of file. So when you see this, where is the file? So the ta'amal is the, amal is the fail. Where is the file? File is the pronoun. File comes as a pronoun in this verb here, attached pronoun. So the attached pronoun here is aliful ithnain. This plays the role of the file. Just like we learned in the past tense, the attached pronoun, the first pronoun that comes after the past tense, takes the place of the file, and the next pronoun that attaches takes the place of maf'ulun bihi. That's how in the fail mudare, just after the fail, we don't consider ta as the part of the fail, it's the harf mudare. So amal is the fail and aliful ithnain is the damir attached and it plays the role of the fa'il, and noon is extra. We don't need to worry about the noon. Bil ikhlas. So this is jar wa majroor. So here I have given lot of examples from the 30th juz, and you can see the fail mudare in the first example. Tasla means to burn, and here in the last letter of the fail mudare is alif makhsura, and this mark is the alif saghira. It is not the haraka. It just tells you how you have to read this letter in two counts. So tasla, if it has a weak letter, and how do you know that it is in marfu? First of all, you need to check if it has a tool of nasb or tool of jazm before the fail mudare. If there is an absence of tool of nasb or jazm, definitely this is in marfu case, and the Arab will be, it is rough, with dhamma al muqaddara ala harf illa or alal alifu. So you can say harf illa or you can say alal alifu, because this alif maksura is called as alif commonly in the Arab. The next example, tusqa. So similar, we have an alif maksura at the end, and we don't have any tool of nasb or jazm, so definitely this is in marfu case. So the Arab will be dammatu al muqaddaratu alal alifu. So the third example, la tasma'u. So these examples are for the weak letters. Now we have an example of clear visible dhamma on the sahih letter. La tasma'u. So you can see a clear visible dhamma and an ayn, that is a sahih letter. How will you do your i'rab? That is Fel Mudaare marfu wal amatu raf'ihi ad-dammatu al-zahiratu. لأنه صحيح الآخر. So this is لأنه صحيح الآخر means because the last letter is صحيح and you can see a clear visible dhamma over it. أفلا ينظرون إلى الإبل كيف خلقت. So ينظرون, the ya harf ya from the anaitu tells you this is from the ghaibs, and waw al jama tells you the file position and tells you the number of people for the males. So ينظرون and the presence of noon. So this example is for the i'rab of the fi'l mudare from the af'alul khams. So how are you going to do your i'rab? That is fi'l mudare marfu wa alamatu raf بثبوت النون. So this is the main important point in your i'rab. سنقرئك. So I have taken this example just to show you the letter seen has been added here to make it into future tense. This is from the Juz 30, an example from the Quran. Sanuqri'uka. So the scene is from the harf mustaqbal. You will call the scene as harf mustaqbal, and this noon is from the anaitu harf mudare. Nuqri'uka, and this is the structure of this verb is from the majhul, and it is from the verb qara'a, means to read. Sanuqri'uka, we will make you read. Okay. Illa ma sha Allah innahu ya'lamu. So this is another fi'l mudare with a clear dhamma over the meme. Sahih al-akhir, it is a sahih letter. And here also there is a sahih letter at the end. This is the damir added, and this is hamza, the sahih letter. So you can see the visible dhamma over it. So now the other example, sayadhakkaru. So yadhakkar is another structure of the fail, but I just gave this example because we have a harf mustaqbal with the sahih letter with dhamma at the end. So that's how your i'rab goes with the alamatu raf'ihi ad-dammatu li'annahu sahih al-akhir. ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا. So here we have two fi'l mudare, la yamutu. So you can see sahih at the end and a clear visible dhamma. And it's the fi'l mudare, ya representing the third group. And wala yahya. So yahya means to live, means it is a place where you will not be able to die in it, or you won't be able to live in it. So talking about the hell, and Yahya is to live, and there is the the harf mudare ya, means representing the third group, and then you have the weak letter alif makhsura again. So your i'rab will be dhamma muqaddara li'annahu harf illa, or the dhamma al muqaddara ala al alifu. Anything you can say in your i'rab. Alhamdulillah, we complete the i'rab of Fel Mudaare in Marfu case, and now in the end of this I have completed everything that represents Fel Mudaare in Marfu case, and inshallah my next video will be Fel Mudaare in Mansoob case. So inshallah till then, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.